it's like there's so many people in the business today because of him. I can't say that about my career.
Drop that down!
Dude, did you know you can subscribe to onlywrestlers.com and keep in touch with your favorite wrestlers? The party never has to end.
One of a Kind with Rob Van Dam is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
I want to welcome none other than Hack, a.k.a. Sandman, to the show. Hack, how are you, brother? He's chugging it up right now.
He's got his butt.
99 bananas, baby. What up, Daddy?
Hey, Sandman, thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. And we're going to hear a few great stories from you. I know we're celebrating, and honoring Sabu tonight, as we all know, along with the hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people. He loved us. My God, he was with you guys in Philadelphia that Saturday. He called me Sunday, say, hey, I'm hanging out with Sandman. I'm going to stay over a day and have cheesesteaks and all that. That was the last time I talked to him.
Pretty neat stuff. It's man, you guys, and obviously with the city of Philadelphia, the CAC, you guys know all about the relationships. I'm sure you guys got plenty of stories too from all that stuff back in the day.
Oh, dude, just some. I don't just sit Sabu alone. It's like, I don't know. He touched so many people. Like, it's like there's so many people in the business today because of him. I can't say that about my career. You know what I'm saying? But like he was the trailblazer, the trendsetter back in the day, and all those dudes freaking looked up to him. I mean, there's got to be like 15% of the people in the business. They're in the business just because of him.
Oh my gosh.
Like crazy numbers.
Unbelievable.
Sandman, all these shows that I still do all around the country for the last 5 years, I get so many of these young superstars that work for AIW and CCW, different companies, saying, oh my God, Sabu was my role model. I'm doing my stuff after him. Of course, they can't follow his act, but they try and they do well. But Sabu have, influenced a lot of people.
Yeah, way more. I guess if I really thought about it, I would have. But since him dying, then it just really came to the forefront how many people just got into this business.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And what he did for the business and how he changed the whole game and landscape of it all. He was so like, I keep saying on shows like Sabu, like his, the underground, like rise of him was a little bit before my time. I tuned into ECW later on, but to know what he was able to do and kind of change, like really set the tone for the Attitude Era, set the tone for ECW, and for that new kind of unique style that Sabu only possessed. That was very special and akin to what he was capable of. So,
and what
it wasn't any of that. And I started in the 80s, and the hardcore stuff back then was like Brett Buzz Sawyer,
right,
a little stiff, doing stiff stuff, but and I've been through so many generations for I started in Bobo, Brazil. I guess a good story about the Sheik, Sabu's uncle. I'll tell you that later. I started with the Bobo, Brazil, and the Sheik and all those guys retiring. And it was Dusty, and then the Barry Windhams, and then the Shawn Michaels, and it just went on to all these things. And then when Sabu hit, man, he did change the culture of the business in ECW. ECW and Sabu was such a big part of that,
Absolutely.
It was great having him on your car, like, you know what I mean? Because there was nothing like him then.
Yeah.
Nobody, nothing like him, dude. You had him on your show, dude. You had a hell of a show going.
Yeah, right?
Really, there was just no. Just think about how generic like the wrestling was then. But like you could have been a plumber, you could have been a cowboy, something like you know what I'm saying? But that dude, what a beast he was.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And the neat thing too about it, we had Sabu on the RVD show like a couple of times, and he told the story too about like how he got almost offered the gimmick of the Sultan in WWE and turned it down because he was afraid to compromise who he was and stuff like that, and he stuck to his guns. And You think about, he was somebody that was completely, he didn't need a gimmick necessarily. Sabu was Sabu. And the fact that he didn't talk a lot of the times, everything like that added to the element of who he was and the mystery of him too. In a lot of
absolutely. Not doing promos, not ever talking. You know what I mean? It maybe it helped him and hurt him a little bit too. Because like if you can talk to the audience, you know what I mean, you can make that little deeper connection rather than having Fonzie blowing his whistle, yelling and screaming and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I think it helped and hurt his character, but
you know when Sabu did speak on rare occasions, he would say 2 or 3 words and it counted. People were mesmerized by him saying Taz, or
and he didn't like, the thing was, is like, we were talking with Taz too, and he was like, he didn't like talking at all. Like you wouldn't perpetuate, like it was all Paul Lee's idea to have him talk because Sabu wasn't going to be an advocate for that in a lot of ways.
And it was Paul Lee's idea to have him on that gurney too and have 911 roll him out there. Sabu hated that thing.
Right? That was the Hannibal Lecter thing, right? When he did the
he hated it because he had to be like unleashed fury. Like he felt like once he got unhooked from his constraints, he had to go super crazy, and that's the one thing I don't think he liked about it.
Right. Hack, what was your first kind of interaction with Sabu? Do you remember that, and how you guys kind of like?
All right, I'll tell you the biggest one I remember was because Fonzie, I wasn't really like, they weren't like part of my crew, like Sabu and Van Dam, like in the beginning, because I wasn't their kind of guy. You know what I mean? I was loud, I was boisterous, I was fucking drunk and shit. So Fonzie made that marriage for us, and I remember the first time Sabu came with the Winnebago. I think me and Fonzie flew into Pittsburgh because me and Fonzie would always fly out every Friday morning, 6:30, with a cocktail, first class U.S. Airlines. Fonzie knew everybody, and Fonzie had to convince him. He's like, no, it was his first day with the RV. The RV's like brand spanking new.
Yeah, he just bought it.
Yeah, and I had this freaking I didn't have a cooler with me or something. I had beers in a bag with ice or something.
Oh, I know this story. Yeah.
Go ahead, Fonz, tell.
No, you tell it better.
Yeah, so dude, I'm on Sabu's bus for less than a half a mile. He makes a turn. My beer spills all over on the floor. The cans go rolling under his feet as he's trying to drive this big damn bus. You should have seen the look on Fonzie Adams' face. Oh, it was great.
It was great, but he was very cool about it,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he was. Dude, I don't know if I could have been that cool about, because it's like your first day with a new toy.
Right.
You can't mess up my new toy.
Right. I was going to ask Hack if you were on the Winnebago, so clearly you were.
He just posted a great picture of all of us sitting around the Winnebago in probably 97 or 98.
Wait, you know who that was? That was Kurt Hawkins that took that picture, that sent it to whoever we were talking on, to whoever's podcast we were on.
Oh, really?
Kurt Hawkins sent that picture as a fan.
Whoa, that's crazy.
That was his picture from in the parking lot.
And he was my age, so he was like 13
cool.
or whatever. Yeah, that's crazy. How about that? That is wild.